everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again. Today we're talking about something that as the winter gets colder may be in a lot of your minds, why you should not be scared to sell your home this winter.
And be sure to wait till the end of the video when we tell you the absolute best time to sell your home.
That means you can't click away, stay around till the end. Hi everybody, I'm Evan Fitzgerald.
And I'm Vittoria Logli with @Properties Christie's International. For number one in why you shouldn't be scared to sell your home is because there's no competition. There are just not a lot of houses for sale. Earlier this year, there was so much more inventory on the market, so many more houses. And right now, there just isn't that much inventory. So now we're speaking specifically in the Chicago northern suburbs of Cook County, which includes Evanston, Glencoe, Northfield, Northbrook, Glenview, Winnetka, Wilmette, Kenilworth. I think I got all 8. And then Evan's going to dive into the numbers here.
Yeah, because it really might be surprising. And especially since we've been at low inventory for a while, but when you actually compare it to what we saw pre-pandemic, it is rather striking. In fact, when Vittoria and I were pulling these numbers before we started the video, it even surprised us. So right now, in the area that Vittoria just outlined, there are only 261 single-family homes on the market at this very moment as we're recording this video. 261.
In 8
That's it.
Suburbs. 8 suburbs of Chicago North Shore, Cook County. 8 suburbs.
It is fairly unbelievable when you actually think of it that way. Okay, so let's roll the clock back, get in the DeLorean time machine back to 2018, pre-pandemic. At that time, 924 houses. That is a 72% drop since that time. Really kind of remarkable. So then 2019, you'd say, well, okay, maybe that was a blip. What about 2019? Well, in 2019, there was 1,042 homes on the market. So that means that it's a 75% drop. There are 75% fewer homes available in the same area versus 2019 pre-pandemic. It just shows you that there just isn't that much else out there. So when you put your home on the market, you kind of own the market. There's not that much out there to compete with.
The numbers just speak so loud and clear with the number of homes for sale pre-pandemic compared to today. Not a lot of competition out there. So don't be afraid to list in the winter.
Right. Absolutely. You shouldn't be afraid of it. And that comes to our second point, which is buyers are still out there. Now, there are a lot of reasons for this. You know, in the winter, sure, especially in our area, it's cold, it's snowy. You'd say, okay, and buyers just don't want to go out there and buy a home. But there are a lot of reasons why they still do. First of all, in the spring, it was a crazy real estate market here. List prices were rising, multiple offers. We personally know a lot of people who were looking for homes at that time who were either priced out or lost out in multiple offer situations. And that can be a very frustrating thing. And so a lot of people felt sort of boxed out of the market.
Had a little post-traumatic stress disorder from all of that, right? A little PTSD. So they kind of pull back.
And you know what? I don't blame anybody who felt that way, because it really was a difficult time to be a buyer because everybody was just out there at the same time. But now that things have changed for a lot of reasons, a lot of people are sort of taking that opportunity to reset, reassess. They still are looking. They still would like to make a change. They would like to buy a home. And now that things aren't as crazy, it's that opportunity to maybe find that home that they weren't able to secure in the spring. So certainly that is a big factor here as well.
And the buyers that are out there are very serious. They're not tire kickers. There's still life events happening. There's still births, deaths, divorces, and job changes. So you shouldn't be nervous to list your home in the colder months. The third reason is that property values are not falling, despite what you're hearing in the news. There's a big misconception out there that property values are falling. And in fact, what's maybe falling are list prices. So home list prices are going down, but actual values are not. And at least in our part of the country, again, Chicagoland, Chicago metro area, they're stable. Different scenarios perhaps in those markets that were crazy like Florida, Arizona, California. But here in the middle of the country, we're stable.
Yeah, and a big part of that is what we talked about at the beginning, is that inventory is so low that it sort of counterbalances. You would always talk about supply and demand. Well, supply is very low, so obviously that factors into it. And if you want to kind of think about, get your head in what buyers are thinking about right now, we do have a video that we think you should watch, which I'll point to. It'll kind of pop up over there, all about the truth really for buyers about interest rates and their affordability. And we talked about why buyers may actually be able to afford more home than they think, even though interest rates have risen. So we highly recommend you give that video a watch as well.
And now, as promised, at the end here, when is the best time to sell your home? That's the big question we get asked all the time. And honestly, best time to sell your home is when it's right for your family. Don't worry about what happened in the past, thinking you might have missed a hot market. Don't fret too much about what could potentially come in the future. It's honestly when it's the best time for you and your family to sell. That's when it's time to put your home on the market.
Absolutely. I mean, we all sort of try to have that crystal ball. And as much as we try, you really can't. What you do know is what's going on in your life, what's best for you. And those are obviously the most important things to factor in when it comes to any sort of major event like buying or selling a home, which is obviously one of the biggest decisions you can make. So certainly, your factors that are going on in your life, that's priority number one.
Thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your comments. And if we missed anything, like what's the main reason that's keeping you from potentially listing your home? Or, this winter before spring season kicks off. We'd love to hear your reasons. Feel free to comment below, and thanks for watching.